So today's topic is about resistance. And resistance is the term that I use, and it's used in a lot of spiritual and awakening type of documents or philosophers or whatever you want to call it, resistance. And when I think about how I started to use the word resistance, some of the feedback I would receive from my friends when they'd listen to the meditation would be, "Oh, Manal, you asked us to become aware of shame, or you asked us to become aware of self-judgment, but I didn't necessarily have that feeling when I was exploring that topic." And I always recognize that we all have different interpretations and different expressions of resistance. So one topic may make you angry, where that same topic might actually make me sad. And this is what resistance is. But when pushed and said, "Please, Manal, give us something about resistance," I recognize that resistance comes and exhibits to us in 4 levels, 4 dimensions. And these are the 4 dimensions that you'll find that I'm more and more exploring and more sharing, because it requires all 4 of these dimensions to be in alignment for us ultimately to be aligned with our truth, aligned with our beauty, aligned with peace and happiness. So let's walk through what these where resistance can be within us on those 4 dimensions, and we'll go into a meditation. So first, resistance, physical. We have our physical bodies, we're living this physical experience, and resistance can occur on our physical bodies. We could walk into a door and get pain in our shoulder, pain in our elbow, pain in our hand, pain on our toe. We actually might be living with chronic physical pain, and that is an expression of resistance on the physical level. So our physical bodies have expressions of physical pain, and during our meditations I will actually guide you towards looking for and localizing physical pain, and then I'll say, well, what is the emotion that's associated with it? Because physical pain might happen by what we think is just coincidence, us stubbing our toe on a table or a chair. But behind that physical pain is actually emotional, mental, or egoic resistance. And those are the next levels. So physical resistance, and that's the easiest one for us to typically express. And it's the one that we're most comfortable expressing. My shoulder hurts, my knee hurts, my toe hurts. Really easy for us to express, and very easy for somebody to relate to us about our physical pain. Next expression of pain is on the emotional level, the heart level. And that's where our emotions come, our feelings come. And I am angry, I am sad, I am depressed, those are forms of resistant feelings. We also have happiness and bliss and peace, and that's your emotional expressions, but that does not have resistance as the other ones that I mentioned. So our emotional body will carry resistance in the form of different emotions and feelings. And during some of our meditations, I suggested if there's physical pain, such as on shoulders, that might be the feeling of the burden that you have of carrying the family, or the stress that you might have. So that's emotional pain. And I actually don't even know if I expressed emotional pain with that example, because the next level that we're going to go to is mental resistance, our thoughts, pain that might be contributed towards struggle that we might be facing in life, struggle with relationships. And it's the thoughts, the looping thoughts, the mental thoughts that are ultimately creating resistance. So our bodies are so interrelated, the physical, the emotional, the mental, the egoic, and these resistant thoughts, these negative thoughts, these thoughts that keep you in a place of not seeing and celebrating the human experience, but expressing the human experience in a negative way, is another form of resistance. And then the last form is the form that excites me so much, because I do not feel that there's been enough exploration of it, and it's really where I'm being pushed to, is the egoic resistance. And the egoic resistance is really our separation from truth, our soul, who we are, and identity is in there. And egoic is really our beliefs and the separation from our beliefs. At the highest level, it's a separation from a bigger meaning in life. And for you, if that means God, if that means universe, if that means purpose, but your egoic one keeps you from really being in alignment with the truth. And we need our physical bodies, our emotional body, our mental body, and our egoic body to all be aligned. So I'll give you a quick example. Being a victim is egoic resistance, that we have an ongoing belief that we might be victim to God, victim to life, victim to another person. That belief will form thoughts like, oh no, look what they did. They hurt me. And then those thoughts will actually lead to emotions. Those emotions might be anger, might be sadness, it might be desperation, really depends on where you are. And then ultimately, that will translate into physical pain somewhere. If when you do not deal with the resistance on the different levels, it will come to physical pain in some way. And so our journey, our excitement, our path is ultimately releasing resistance. And that happens through my 5-step process, the 5 explorations. 1, become aware. Without awareness, there is not ultimately letting go and surrender. 2, acknowledging the deeper meaning. So physical pain, what is that? Emotional, the thoughts, the beliefs that are holding you. Let's start to become aware and tie our body all together. Tie together the resistance on all the different dimensions, what ultimately will lead you to surrender. Appreciation, again, putting your heart in the command center, letting your heart ultimately recognize that this is not bad. This is the human experience. This is the beauty of the life that we're living. This is the expression of truth and appreciating you, appreciating your vulnerability, your strength, your life, everything that you've been given to ultimately lead you to recognizing that this is life and this is your path towards expansion. Appreciation is a beautiful one. And the more we can learn to appreciate all elements of the life, there's more that we lead ourselves to ultimate liberation and freedom. 4, letting go. Letting go. And once you start to recalibrate your beliefs with your thoughts, with your emotions and your physical body and your freedom, you recalibrate to your truth and you're easily able to let go of this resistance that no longer serves. And lastly, surrender. Surrendering back to whatever your biggest is, universe, God, inner being, source, soul, it doesn't matter, but surrendering and recognizing that life is all about acceptance, that you can orient yourself to be in the best place, but ultimately it's the surrender to allowing that guides you to your place of freedom. 2 last things before we go into the meditation to explore resistance that you might have is 1, a lot of what you have is from conditioning. I say that all the time. I say that in my videos. I say that in my meditations. It's conditioning. This is the beauty of the life, and we are all conditioned. This is part of the journey. We are conditioned. Our parents are conditioned. Our grandparents, our great-greats, our great-greats. There is no blame. There's just celebration. And sometimes I look at that toy that your fingers, you put your 2 fingers in, and the way to get your fingers out is letting go, and you're able to get your fingers out. I hope I articulated well. And that's what surrender is, just letting go, allowing, and trusting. So our human conditioning is part of the human experience, and let go of judgment and replace that with celebration, of appreciation, of your desire and the tools that you were given to ultimately let go and surrender. And then 2, because of that, time. Let go of the concept of time. Time is something that we're experiencing on the physical dimension. It's not needed in the healing dimension. You might click, boom, something might shift, and you're going to find that surrender that you're looking for. Or it might be something that generations of your family have ultimately been blessed with to let go of. And it might take you longer. Just let go of the concept of time and become aware of the beauty of your feelings, the beauty of you, to ultimately guide you to that. So I hope this preamble opened up some of your feelings and really brought things to the surface. And you're at a perfect point now for a meditation, and we'll explore resistance. Let's start with our 3 grounding breaths. Indulge in the gap, the place between your breath in and the breath out. This is where your inner meets the outer world, and it provides a point of bliss, silence, knowing, alignment, beauty. And let's begin. Let's start with the first deep breath in. And release. Second deep breath in. And release. A third and final deep breath in. Indulge in the gap. And release. Close your eyes. Keep them open. Whatever guides you towards the most comfort. Start to become aware of resistance. In my initial discussion, was there any resistance that was triggered? Recognition of physical pain, fatigue can also be a representation of resistance. Tired. An awareness of emotional resistance. Sadness. Anger. Frustration. Any thoughts that were triggered when we talked about being a victim. Or any egoic resistance. Dissociation from bigger, dissociation from purpose, dissociation from yourself. I'm going to create the space for you to explore resistance. Do not overindulge in your thoughts or your feelings, but really become a third-person observer to try to understand and feel, see, and know your resistance, and be curious about the relationship between maybe your egoic, mental, emotional, and physical resistance. I will pause now to give you the space to explore. Wonderful. Now, at this point, start to understand, dig a bit deeper, and understand what this resistance is leading you to. Ultimately, there's a bigger message. For example, my exploration, my belief that I need to be perfect resulted in resistance when I don't feel like I'm being perfect. If I make a mistake, a judgment on myself, and ultimately anger or sadness at the way that I might perform. And ultimately, what I'm looking for is acceptance and a recognition that I'm just allowing and doing the best that I can. Dig into your resistance and ask yourself, what is the full cup? What is the longer side of the stick that this resistance is guiding to me to? What is my ultimate desire? Might be freedom, self-worth, acceptance. I'm going to pause to give you the opportunity to create a deeper connection with your understanding of your resistance that ultimately will guide you to your liberation. I will pause. Now, recognize any messages that you may have received and be comfortable and confident that if you didn't receive one, you will, because you've created an intention for it when it's best for your highest good. But take a pause to celebrate, to appreciate, to recognize your vulnerability, your strength, your courage, your willingness to really look within yourself, to self-reflect, and to understand your resistance from a place of love, from a place of understanding, from a place of curiosity, is ultimately leading you towards your path toward freedom. And just take the moment to celebrate yourself, to celebrate this moment, celebrate these moments, celebrate your willingness, your desire towards bigger and better. And bigger and better ultimately means freedom and self-appreciation and self-love. I'll pause to give you the space to ultimately appreciate. And now that you have become aware of acknowledged, and appreciated all the resistance that you connected with. And now take a deep breath in and release. Release all of the resistance that you've connected with, all of the resistance on your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your egoic levels. Release and trust that your body will know and does know exactly what to do. Take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in and release all of the resistance. And at this point, make an intention to surrender back to the universe all of the resistance, and to be at a place to allow, to trust, to know, to be in alignment, in full alignment with your truth, through alignment of all of your dimensions, your body, your heart, your mind, and your ego. And when in alignment, your inner world can be in alignment and resonate with the outer world. And that's where you'll find peace, always in the now moment. Take a deep breath in and release. Surrender all back to the universe. And at this point, take a deep breath in of allowing. And release. Take a deep breath in of acceptance. And release. Take a deep breath in of surrender. And release. Imagine the light of the beautiful universal divine entering through the crown of your head, going through your head, your neck, shoulders, creating a blissful moment into your heart, your abdomen, your pelvis area, your thighs, your knees, your calves, and out the soles of your feet. And imagine the light from the earth, the beautiful, the core of the earth, divine earth, going up through the core of the earth, through the soles of your feet, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your pelvic area, your abdomen, your heart and chest, shoulders, neck, through your head and out the crown of your head. Enjoy this moment of radiance. I will pause one more time to give you the opportunity to allow these thoughts to recalibrate within you and create any intentions for yourself for the remainder of the day, or for tomorrow, for the week, for the month, for the year, for your life. I will pause. Wonderful. I trust that you're feeling lighter, These are really big concepts that were introduced today. Your ego, your mind, your emotions, your body, and how they're all connected. Give grace towards yourself for giving yourself the space for these thoughts, for these beliefs, for your emotions, for your body to calibrate them, to take them in, and to align them with what you believe are your truths and what you know. And this is a journey, as I said. It's a human journey. It's a celebration of life. And let everything calibrate to the time that's for your highest good. Don't put yourself on a schedule. Do not put any judgments on yourself. Just honor the process. The next few weeks, I'll continue to do some more events and journeys on resistance and focus on the physical level, on the emotional level, on the mental level, on the egoic level, and really create a safe forum to provide the space for you to continue to explore, to continue to expand, to continue to let go. My early days of self-awareness, I'd get frustrated and say, hey, I already dealt with this issue. Why is my perfection coming up again? Because it was conditioned over a lifetime. And I'm now giving myself the grace to uncondition it to a point that serves me. And going from full speed to full stop isn't for my highest good. And so now I've learned to honor the process. And I invite you to honor the process as well. Thank you for joining me here today. Next week, we're going to be exploring the resistance at the egoic level. I'd love for you to join us, and that really is looking at your beliefs, your identity. I appreciate you being here today. If there's any topics that you'd like me to explore, let me know as a comment below, and I'm excited to add that as a meditation or as a live event or a video. Thank you. I celebrate this moment. I celebrate moments. I celebrate you, and I celebrate our collective journey towards that path of liberation. Thank you. My love, always.